This is my latest little adventure. I've headed up to Bodmin Moor. I don't really know Bodmin Moor very well. I've only ever gone for little day trips there. There are some nice lakes and reservoirs. It's also quite bleak and cold and windy, and this has led me to change my tent decision, and so I'm kind of slightly heavier backpack today, only a little bit. It's still under 9 kilos, which is great, but I am taking out the Wild Country Zephyros 2 and a tarp to see if I can set it up so that it's useful for winter, to save me buying a really expensive winter tent, which I don't want to do particularly. So that's what I'm doing. I'm off to Bodmin Moor. Just got off the train station at Bodmin Parkway, and I'll probably be talking about free speech and Starmer and censorship and how the whole riot thing, it wasn't just a false flag, it was fucking completely made up. There were no riots, just some brief bits for the camera to feed to us on social media, and then we just did the rest, including me, including everyone else. So actually this is my starting point. It's taken me 3.5 hours to get here from the secret Cornish hideout. That's how difficult it is to travel when you don't drive, living so remote as I am at the moment. And this place is called Coles Leggett train station. I didn't know it existed. It's only part of a 6.5 mile Bodmin railway network, and there are trains on it, which I didn't know. And you can't get a train here from any of the other major train stations. It's just like it's isolated from the rest of the railway network. So it's probably just like a ring track. I'd have to go check on the map. Anyway, Coles Leggett train station. And there's a coffee shop nearby, but I'm about 2 hours behind Tom. Kind slide. I think they put it up every year. So we're just outside Bodmin, and it's been roads all the way so far. I'm a bit annoyed with my route, so and I'm about an hour and a half behind time, so I'm not stopping. Otherwise I would have gone on it. If you go over there, you can see it. Quite long. Finally, I make it to Bodmin Moor. So there are now paths leading out into the open. And on Bodmin, I don't think you're allowed to wild camp. I don't think you're permitted to do that, like Dartmoor is, or in Scotland. But I'll find somewhere this week. Looking for the lakes. And here's the way off. And I can't see it. Helicopter. Hey, finally, off-road we go. This is what I come for, really. Peace of mind, peace and quiet, peace of my soul, and to look at pieces of old buildings, because that looks pretty old to me. Not sure how long it's been here, but I would guess 1700s, usually around that. And this would have been some sort of old farm building, I expect. But it's mad, isn't it? See that there? I don't know if that's an actual tree, or is it just the green stuff covering like a chimney stack. You'd do well to have a building like this now, wouldn't you? And you can see there's a chimney stack, look. And as I pass through the moor here, I've never been here before. I'm looking for places to camp now. Well, places that I can come back to if I can't find somewhere as I continue. And so this is the latest place that I will return to. And I'm carrying on in that direction there to the Bodmin Lakes. All up through this pathway, all around me, has been keep out signs. I've been turned around as well. And this is the lakes that some people come to keep their walking across what was once a public pathway. Madness. This is much more difficult to navigate than it is on Dartmoor. All the paths are not clear. You have to keep having to cut across private land, which seems like the only way to go from one to like. Just a minute ago there was a turning. It looks like a road turning off. There's nothing there. Found a pathway, overgrown. That was the pathway I was supposed to be going on. Couldn't pass it, so I just had to cut through someone's house and garden. I think. I don't know. So it's weird. Sometimes it's all blocked up, saying private, no, don't come here. And others, there's nothing. So right now, I'm in a bit of woodland in between a couple of pieces of land and farm. And I'm trying to find some water before I go off and look for somewhere to camp. So, but I haven't really been on any sort of open moorland, so I'm really sort of quite disappointed. Won't come the Bodmin way next time. This is a really, really obscure pathway. I've finally, after about half an hour, found it, I think. You can hear that there's water in the background. So, and there's water underfoot. It's very boggy and very marshy. Shocking. And that's what I'm looking for. You can just see it in the distance. Some water. And this looks like nice water for drinking, so I will grab probably a litre. Taking about 1 hour to do a kilometre through some weird terrain. I don't know why OS took me this way, but I don't know if they were chasing after me or they just wanted to be fed, but there was a load of horses running at me. I fucking shit myself. There was about 8 or 9 of them. So I'm out of breath and I twisted my back. So I've just arrived at Golitha Lake. It's bang in the middle of Bodmin Moor. I've done about 16 kilometres, I think. I've got a little bit further to go. It's taken about 4 hours. It's been really difficult. But I'm here. I'm going to walk around the lake probably rather than carry on in the direction of Liscard and see if I can find somewhere to camp, chill out. I could do a cup of tea. And this is Golitha Dam, and it's one of many dams built across not just Bodmin but also Dartmoor. It's absolutely massive. Having already experienced the mud, I'm not going to bother walking for two. I know what this lake's like, so I'm going to assume that the ground is incredibly wet. I'm going to keep walking. It's 6 o'clock and I haven't really found anywhere that I'm happy to pitch up with just yet. So I'll give it another hour and I'll probably have to retrace my steps a little bit. I would camp here, but the grass is so long. I was waiting for it for about an hour and probably about a mile. So it looks like proper moorland ahead. After much deliberation and with the wind kicking in a bit, I'm going to camp here, which is actually just off the path. There's no one around. I haven't seen hardly any walkers all the way. You can see about 2 or 3, maybe two women. And they appeared at a dead end as well, which was weird. I'm going to camp here, eat. I've pitched up. It's a bit windy. I'm about 250, 300 metres up. I can't tell the difference between moorland and farmland here, and every single gate has no right of way, private land, keep out. This one says section 31 of the Highways Act, stay out, even though I've just come through it and OS has taken me through it. every route I went was the same. So I don't recommend Bodmin for hiking, to be honest. I'm a bit disappointed. In fact, I'm very disappointed. So anyway, I'm gonna just have something to eat. I got some chorizo, some noodles, some cheese, which is nice. I got zero signal, so Lucy's gonna be pulling her hair out. But I've got a tent up, and I need to do some work on it because it's just not tight enough, the fly sheet. But it works quite well with the bike top, so I can sit underneath that and have somewhere to cook. Some people think this is hell, being surrounded by shit. There's shit everywhere. Eating noodles with a bit of cured sausage and chorizo and some cheese. Well, I think this is heaven. What is one man's meat is another man's poison. And I'm well out of the wind as well, which is great. 7 o'clock in the morning, got my hat on, I'm on Bodmin. It's, well, as you can see, visibility is probably about a couple hundred meters, it's not too bad. But it's been raining, and it was a little bit windy last night, but nothing too much. And the tent did well. And yeah, I think, because I think about tents all the time, I'm going to make this my winter tent. It's not out properly. I'm going to take it home and play around with all the straps and stuff. Get some more poles. Might even get a tarp just for it. And for about 2.5 kilos with the tarp and loads of pegs. Yeah, it's bomb-proof. You're not going to get wet in there. It's not an ideal tent for camping, but for some of the things I'm planning to do in the winter, that's perfect. So, anyway, tent. So I'll talk about freedom of speech, censorship, coming in heavy again. It seems like we had a lull in the attack on our freedom of expression since COVID. You know, 2022, they got a bit hot about the war, I suppose, but there was no real censorship, and particularly since Elon took over, whether you like it or not, on Twitter, we've been free to say what we like. Yeah, there might be an issue with reach, but we're not all being fucking put in prison, are we? But it looks like they're even trying to scare us with threats of imprisonment and stories of people being put in prison for saying some naughty words online or for gesticulating towards a police officer at one of these fake protests that we've had to put up with over the last few days, or last week, and they've been fake. You know, last time when I came back on a Saturday, last time I was out camping last week, I thought that the outburst was organic and real. It might well have been, but they've been capitalised. And we had 100 anti-fascist Muslim protests this week with no protest to counter. Yeah? So either the far right played their hand really, really well, because they did, or Stalin was lying and they all made it up. They literally just made it up that there was going to be a load of protests so that they can then go and fucking start imprisoning people. Crazy shit that is. And we should be careful that we don't slide into, you know, further madness. And we can only do that by speaking out and sharing everybody's tweets online, or everyone's fucking Instagram posts or Facebook posts or whatever. Just flood the playing field. Just put so much, as Barmer put out there, so much trash out there, from their point of view. Just, it can be all true, yeah, it'll probably all be true, it won't be misinformation. The only misinformation comes from the government, yeah, and the media, and their experts. So, yeah, we should flood the playing field. Everybody, just fucking retweet the crap out of everything. What can they do? What are they going to do about it? Yeah, they can't arrest us all. They're probably just trying to scare us, aren't they? So, yeah, mad times. And why do I think the other reason they're doing it? And this is Heather, Twitter account called Heather, who I follow. We talk sometimes. She's got a very decent following. And, you know, she's a proper Brit, patriot, and she thinks that they are manufacturing consent for war at the moment. Of course they are. That's all the fucking media ever does, isn't it? That's their prime purpose. Manufacture consent for the cause that they like. And I think that's what's happening. I think they're trying to manufacture consent for hatred against Muslims. Yeah. Immigrants, yeah. Muslims, mass immigration, massive problem. Needs to be stopped. Mass immigration. Not just the illegal immigration, the all ports immigration from all over the world that's coming here. That needs to stop. But right now, I think they're trying to create, manufacture hatred towards the Muslim community, some who are long-standing members of our community, and they're not all bad, they're not all child rapists, yeah, they're not all Allahu Akbar, murdering, you know, knife maniacs. That's just some of them. That's the ones that we get told about, yeah? Because they want to manufacture hatred for Muslims. Why? Because Iran's next on the fucking list. There's two American battle groups in the Med. Med's not very big. There's 2 battle groups in there. And I think they're clearing out all Americans out of the region. Get ready to attack Iran, yeah? Or wait for Iran to attack Israel in retaliation, and then attack Iran. Yeah, I think that's coming. And they're going to test another one of Putin's red lines, which is his defense pact that he has with Iran. You know, he's already supplying them weapons and air defense systems, etc. But then would Russia step in with the real hot conflict, direct conflict between Russia and the USA, or Russia and NATO, would happen in the Middle East, not in Ukraine, where they're only going to lose, aren't they, if they go to Ukraine. So, my thoughts on all the censorship. No one's ever managed to shut me up. Pretty bleak. They just say I've not been out here like this on Bodmin Moor before, and yeah, visibility's dropped to about 10 metres, which is good, because I think a farmer was out on his quad bike or whatever, and he literally rode right past me, he didn't see me because of the mist that's just sitting. So everything's getting wet. Interesting sight to see. I'm literally navigating now just by map, because I've got about 10 metres visibility. That was my original route. Guess what? They don't want you going through there. The route that OS has planned for me detoured me all the way up round here just to go back to where I started, and I've stuck to the route. I was going to take a shortcut. You can see he's fenced it all off. Look. It's a crazy situation. Anyway, there's a minor road. I'm going to take this instead. So I'm here at a place called Golitha Falls by the river Foy. A place I know very, very well. My best friend used to have a flat there. And I'm going to go and have a look at the falls, get some water, make a coffee. There is a coffee shop here, but it's not open until 10 o'clock, so I'll make my own. Have a look at a waterfall. I'll crack with some water. Other people doing exactly the same, so maybe the river Foy water makes a good cup of coffee indeed. All this used to be Golitha Falls and this woodland. That's now natural England. There's so many of them, they're all the trust. There used to be a mine and copper China Clay Works, a big pipeway going all the way through. That used to carry China Clay slurry. That's now been dismantled. It was dismantled in 2022. I just googled. Anyway, there are some more buildings here. Some more buildings here. There's the river Foy. And I'm going to stop here and make a cup of coffee and have a doobie. And probably head back on my way towards this guy. So I've got coffee on the go. So I've got a new water filter. This is by Water Drop. It's actually, oh there it is. Highly recommended. It's a bit bigger and heavier. And that's been doing a great job. The water that comes out of, this is from the river Foy, it's usually a little discoloured. However, it tastes amazing. And it makes a great cup of coffee. So this will be boiled in about a minute. That gas burner, which is by OEX, is better than air, just as good as the mountain rescue jobs. fact, I reckon this beats their times. So sometimes this is one instance where the most expensive product isn't the best. So there you go. Coffee and breakfast by the riverside. Yeah, and we might all be doing this soon. Yeah, with our mass non-compliance. That probably is just round the corner when people realise what's going on and decide that they finally had enough. Hey, fingers crossed. Yeah, boiled river foy water, and my new mug. Look at that. I love the best thing about camping is the designs, and this will go out to about it'll hold 330 millimeters. If I can get it out, I'm using one hand. There we go, look. Little mug. Handy. Weighs about 80 grams as well. Much better than the mug I had before, it's bigger. So, good camping mug. Got on Amazon. Collapsible mugs. Golitha Falls, and it's splendid, good. And for those, if you are interested in water filters, the previous water filter, which was a life straw, which I was using, which broke, and it wasn't, I don't think it was filtered very well. This water drip system, so that was greenish, slightly greenish river water. It's been filtered once, and now it's been boiled. That's a leftover. But I didn't really see the colour of it because it was in the bag. It's clear, look. Yeah. So this is called water drip. It's the same price as the life straw, apart from you get loads of other stuff with it. Bigger, bit bigger, and it will filter all the baddies, not the heavy metals, other chemicals, no, salt water, no. But any other water, it will take out all the baddies, all the pathogens and the bacteria and the algae and the green stuff that you don't really want to be drinking. That'll make you sick. And that has come out completely clear. So, and when I tasted it, just like every other filtered water I've tasted, river water, it's really nice water. It's really sweet. Crap in and stuff. You want to get some water filters in. They're really, really, really good. You can filter just a bit. Yeah, and it will get the bad shit out, and you end up with. Yeah, mine shafts all over the place, but not that I'd ever want to go under there. All these little places are worth knowing about, aren't they? I think so. I'd love to have a complete map of Cornwall and Dartmoor and stuff in my head. I'm working on it. Even Golitha Falls, and I'm refreshed, I'm rehydrated, and now it's a 10k hike to Lisgard, and it'll probably be mostly on roads, no doubt, yeah, because pathways here are all just restricted. Anyway, and I've got a bottle of water that I filtered for Lucy, because she likes, it's close to the source of the River Foy, and so she's got a collection of filtered river water at home. I'll keep adding to it. For August, Bodmin Moor and Dartmoor are incredibly wet still. We're not that high up. I'm probably at the moment about 200 metres up, maybe less, 150. And Bodmin was absolutely sopping wet. I had to change my socks, and my boots are good, yeah. So yeah, I found that on Dartmoor as well. And speaking to other ramblers and other hikers and campers on Dartmoor, they were asking me, how wet is it up there on the higher moorlands? I was like, mate, I've got to change my socks. It's the same as this week. And they're all surprised, yeah? They're all like, yeah, it hasn't stopped raining. We've never known anything like it. And it's the wettest I've ever seen Dartmoor. And although I'm no expert on Bodmin Moor, no expert on Dartmoor either, but it is surprisingly wet for the time of year. So and the reservoir was full, Collingford. So that's probably why they're doing some of the far right stuff, yeah, because they can't use climate change. It's been raining a lot. About a mile ago to Liskeard. It's 11:05, so I'm going to be there before midday. I'll have something to eat, I think, before I go home. And I've got to say this, last week was probably one of the best solo walks, the solo walks that I've ever had. I enjoyed it so much. I should have stayed. I wanted to stay out another night. I just don't think I was fit to. But, because of my feet and my knees and my back. But, this, Bodmin, if you're listening and you're into wild camping, never wild camping Bodmin. It's shit. It's hard to get on the land. It's covered in farmland. All the public paths seem to be cut off by the landowners. And you're left to walking on roads and looking at bridges. So, I mean, part of that's my own mistake, my own fault. I didn't plan the route very well. But, constantly detoured. And now my trip's over, when normally I would expect to go to about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, Bodmin Moor, not one for wild camping. I'm just entering Liskeard, which was my destination. So that's Bodmin Moor dive. I walked sort of pretty much all the way across it, well, in and out, to the middle and out. And I'll have a quick look at Liskeard. There won't be anything going on, but it is somewhere that you would like to live, just as it is anywhere around Cornwall. Some of the small towns like Liskeard are very nice places to live. Liskeard, and I've already seen it's about the third discount shop I've seen. I don't know what the economy's like here these days. This is the city centre. I'm heading towards the train station and I'll get something to eat on the way. Okay, I'm at Liskeard train station, penultimate video. I'll wait for him to finish. Shut up. And, question. I haven't cut my hair since I embarked on my journey across the south of England. So, should I cut my hair? It's about 3 months.
This is the service from
cut my hair? Or keep it? So, back in the secret hideout. And I haven't really got a lot to say. It's the day afterwards, and after walking across Bodmin, and I'll just say this: keep saying your piece. Don't wild camp in Bodmin or Bodmin Moor. Terrible. I'll be going back to Dartmoor. It's much bigger. There's more to do, and you're allowed to walk around freely.